people say I built my car for attention, but I have a panic attack at every stoplight when people look at me. I was like, that's exactly how I feel. Yeah, I've joked about, well, not even joked. I've talked about how, like, when the car's done, I'll, like, have all the interior stuff done. Yeah. I want to take the tint off so people can see the interior.
I don't want that. I'm not going to take the tint off anymore.
I literally do not want that.
I'm just going to make it even darker now.
No, I don't want people to fucking see me. I want to enjoy my car, but holy shit, I get so fucking anxious at the attention that it gets. It's ridiculous. Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome to Substance Podcast. I'm your host, Liam.
And I'm your other host, Matt.
And we are so fucking excited to talk about Riverside today.
Yes, we are.
The last episode, we definitely overestimated what it would take to record a bunch of episodes this weekend specifically. We were like, we're gonna try and record a bunch, so then we just like have them for every week ahead of time.
Oh no, that's gonna be logistical issue. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, it had not. It just hasn't worked in that way at all. So here we are. We're sitting down Sunday after Riverside, and we are going to talk about our weekend because this has been an incredible weekend, to say the least. And yeah, we didn't record any episodes with anybody. We've done zero interviews.
We did a great job so far. And technically, though, there are some people still in town, so we are going to try. There's somebody that we're going to try, but whether or not where it's going to happen is kind of amazing.
If anybody can come over this evening and do an interview, literally anybody, random people off the street.
Well,
I'm just kidding.
I think Pete is still a very viable option.
We're trying to get Speedy Pete to come through and hang out and just talk all kinds of shit. But we'd planned some like rough idea for guests, and it just didn't work out. And I think it's because this show is so like, one, really big deal for me, really stressful, really busy. And yeah, it just, I don't know. It like recording an episode takes like 2 hours to do, but then you got to think like we're like 30 minutes out of downtown Chat, which is where most people are staying. And then by the time we come out here, we got to have our conversation beforehand, hanging out, whatever, sit down, record for 2 hours. It's like a 4-hour thing.
Yeah, it's kind of a like, if you want to do it in like a chill way, it's kind of like a day.
Yeah, like we're not really trying to have somebody fucking just come in here. Like, we're already set up right here. They show up at the house and just walk right into this.
Sit down, let's do this.
Exactly, yeah. So it didn't work out that way, and this is definitely a learning process. But I think, Riverside specifically is just too busy, and the fact that, like, this is local, for future events, we want to take this whole setup with us to, like, our hotel or Airbnb and just set up there, and then we can kind of figure it out. But yeah, people didn't even get into town until, later on Thursday, and then Friday was like a super busy day anyway. And there's stuff going on that we couldn't miss or have other people miss. So yeah, we didn't make any interviews work. But that's fine, because I'm super pumped about just sitting down.
We both enjoyed it enough for that's not even really phasing us at all.
No, we're not even upset about it, because I'm excited to literally sit here and express all of the things that have been bubbling up inside of me over the past few days.
Liam's had a lot of bubbling going on the last 2 days.
Yeah, man. Haven't been to the bathroom all weekend, dude. I've been saving it. No,
saving it for the podcast.
Yeah, I've been saving it for the podcast. I'm about to spew all this shit everywhere.
Oh man, okay.
No, how should we do this? How do we to give context, if anybody didn't realize, Riverside, Chattanooga was this weekend. If you've been an avid listener of the podcast, we've had Mason Gavin on here, who is the guy that runs Riverside, and we've had him on here to talk about Riverside. We had Dustin from Okie Doke, and we talked a lot about Riverside with that too. And yeah, this weekend was insane. It was just so crazy. And like, before we say anything about it, I just want to say how ridiculously proud I am of Mason, Carly, everybody involved with Riverside, myself, my brand, everybody.
I'd like to give a huge shout out to myself.
No. I didn't mean that sounded bad, but I mean it like I'm proud of like how far I've come with like growing my brand, and the amount of support was ridiculous. Like I didn't get to see Riverside. I was just in Riverside within my 10 by 10 space, seeing what was happening. But I didn't get to see any cars. I didn't get to walk around, do anything. And I'll get onto that in a little bit. But, you know, for anything that we're going to talk about as far as like the actual show, we'll probably transfer over to what Matt did and his experience, because I have no fucking idea. I wasn't there. I barely breathed yesterday. It was nonstop at the booth. So I'm thankful for that. I'm very thankful for that. But I don't know, how was the show for you?
Well, so just to run on that really quick, anybody that came by looking for me at the booth yesterday, Liam had told me that there was a few people that...
Bro, more than a few. Honestly, it was like weirding me out a little bit. People were coming
I don't know. I don't know if you're telling the truth or not, because I wasn't there to see it. So
no, I want to say like 15 to 20 people would probably come up to the booth and be like, "Where's Matt?" And I didn't know if they were like friends of yours or these are people that just love the podcast. I mean, I had plenty of people that come up and were like, "Hey, I absolutely love what you guys are doing with the podcast." But no, there were quite a few people that were just like, "Where's Matt?"
Well, shout out to anybody that came up and said, "Where's Matt?" Because I wish I was in the booth at the time, because obviously I want to talk to any of you who are interested in talking to me. DMs are open, by the way. But yeah, I was honestly too busy walking around fucking enjoying my, like it.
Hell yeah.
So the craziest thing to me about Riverside is how every single year at the end of it, I find myself saying, this is the best year yet. Every single year that happens. And it's just like, it's unbelievable that just the upward trend that it's constantly going on, because it's always growing. They're always introducing, new something.
Yeah.
And the quality of cars just keeps going up every year, and they always just have a really good mix, because every year more people find out about it and more people apply. But yeah, I think this is going to be me telling this story for like the 7th time probably since yesterday, because it was one of those stories I just kept repeating to people. But like it usually, like Riverside especially, because it's like pretty local, I have enough friends where like when I'm walking around a show like that, I generally either stop somebody or get stopped to talk to them as I'm walking around. And if I'm like walking around to look at the cars, I probably end up getting to look at the cars for like 30 minutes and like talking to people for the rest of the time. Like even if it's just walking and talking, we're looking at the cars, which is fine. Obviously love that. But like just how I am, like I really like it when I can just like take my time and just like walk around and just like absorb cars that I like. Well, I don't really know why it happened this way, but this Riverside, I had like 4 uninterrupted laps of just going around the entire show, just kind of taking my time, just
what's funny?
Seeing what was around. Like,
I think you must have been in like low key mode, because there were plenty of times where you were sitting at the booth and somebody came up and was saying nice things about the podcast.
Yeah.
And I don't think that they noticed that you were like sitting right behind me. So that may have been what it is. Like you wear your hat pretty low, so it like covers most of your face.
Yeah.
That's probably what it was.
I wasn't wearing a hat yesterday.
You weren't?
No.
This is how not there I
dude.
was.
Liam, he was all over the place.
All right, well, let me give my take on what you said just then, because walking around, like, you like to take your time and like look at cars. I haven't really had the chance to do that
in a long time.
And Riverside is like one of those shows that I really like to do that. Oh my God. It's okay. Let me give an example. The pre-meet, I was at the pre-meet for like 2 hours. I had to abandon my car and leave. I had to actually leave the pre-meet because it was too much. It was overwhelming. I want to look at cars. I want to like meet people. I want to talk to people about their cars. For hours, all I did was every 10 seconds I'd have a conversation with somebody, walk somewhere else, like towards another car to look, or like a different aisle, whatever. Somebody else would stop to talk to me, and it's, hey, I saw the car, looks great, blah, blah, like talking to me about my car. And then it's questions like, why are you stopping LEP? It's all these questions. It's just literally talking to me about things about myself.
Yeah.
I had to leave because I got so overwhelmed. Like, I've been anxious enough as it is the past few weeks leading up to Riverside because there's just a lot of stuff going on. And the preemie, like, it makes me anxious enough having the car out, driving it, whatever. I got a lot more comfortable with it, and it felt great. But being at the preemie and people just nonstop talking to me for hours about myself, I was like, I can't do this. Like, I want to go home.
Yeah.
I don't even want to be around this stuff because that's not fun. I'm not a narcissist. I don't want to sit here and like spend 4 hours talking about myself
Right.
and all the, like, I have to deal with my own stuff every single day. I don't want to sit here and like talk about the shit that I have going on with a million people. Like, I don't want this to come across as like bad or anything. I really do love that so many people want to come up and say hi and have a conversation with me. It's fucking awesome. But you got to consider that I am a human that unfortunately has to have the same conversation with every single person that I come across. And when there's thousands of people at an event, that's kind of exhausting. Like, I don't know how many times I had to explain the story of why I'm stopping LEP to people over this weekend. Y'all know we have a podcast where I've already explained it. Like, you could just go on there and answer it. Like, I'm nice. I'm obviously going to talk to anybody, but man, I just want to enjoy cars. Like you said, I just want to take my time, walk around. I want to look at cars. I want to nerd out on little details. And I got to do that a little bit this weekend, just like in like closed quarters where there weren't tons of people around with certain cars. But dude, I can't even like enjoy events. I can't. It sucks. Yeah. I want to go to a car show and not be like blown up constantly. And like, I want to talk to people, but I want to talk to people about cars. Well, not my car. My car.
I mean, not for nothing to, for better or for worse, obviously, now that you're winding down LEP, I think to whatever degree, I mean, you're still going to get like why did you shut down LEP, this and that, and that. I mean, that's, it's going to be a while before that winds down just because, that's just how it is. But I think, once you're not actively doing that and you're just doing the podcast, because like, at least for now, we have such a core organic audience. Like all of you guys know, who we are. Well, I guess you're still putting out videos on YouTube. But the point is, I think it'll wind down. It'll never completely go away, obviously.
No,
but I'm sure it'll wind down.
You kind of sign up for that when you put yourself out there on the internet. And I don't want you guys to take this like completely the wrong way. I'm very appreciative and I love everybody that's like super supportive. But like, I'm just a car enthusiast at the end of the day, like anybody else. Like when I go to an event, I want to like walk around. I want to take in like the cars that I'm seeing. I don't just want to like brush past a car like, oh, that looks cool. Like I want to look at every detail and talk to the owners about it, like hear their story, all of that stuff. And I don't know, it kind of bums me out that I end up having to talk about myself the whole time. It makes me sad because there's so many things that I want to hear and see and know about, and people just want to know about me, which is already all out there on the internet, So, I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with that. I don't want to make anybody feel bad, but just for future reference, like if you want to come up and have a conversation at a show or hang out or whatever, maybe don't pick my brain about the things that are already all over the internet. Yeah, and I mean, I think that's it's fair. Just, I don't know. It's it's a weird feeling. And for anybody that doesn't actually like, because this is also really weird too, because the podcast has its own audience. Like a lot of you guys don't know me or Matt. Like a lot of you guys didn't know me before this. And so I appreciate this probably sounds really weird. And it also probably sounds kind of arrogant of me to talk about it this way, but I just want to enjoy car shows again.
I don't think it's arrogant. I just think that's a very human thing, like in this context. Like you just kind of want to do your thing, and that's I think that's a fair and valid desire. And I think the reason that you're feeling like it may come off as arrogant is because obviously like people want to talk to you because they like you and they're interested in what you're doing. But it's like, I think it's pretty fair to say that like if something is already on the internet and they keep up with you, It's kind of like
I shouldn't have to fill everybody
it's
in.
like it's you know what I mean? Like it's already there.
Yeah.
If you want to ask me about something that's not already on the internet, then let's talk about it. But
I think the reason that I get so like touchy about it and think that I'm being arrogant is because I literally hate that anybody could use the term like famous or call me a celebrity or some shit. That sounds 100%. That 100% sounds super arrogant. But I heard that term used multiple times yesterday, and it makes me very uncomfortable because I don't think I'm better than anybody else. I don't think that I'm like, yes, a lot of people know me, but I just hate it. I hate that anybody could put me on a pedestal. It makes me feel fucking weird. And that's why I get like touchy about it and think that I'm coming across as arrogant, because I just want to be a normal person. I just want to go to an event. I want to walk around, enjoy cars like everybody else. And I love that I have so many people that are supportive, but let's talk cars. Let's talk about cars, please.
I was joking around with somebody yesterday, and I was like, I honestly wish that I could have like a fucking hat or something, or like some indicator that tells people like, hey, I'm on my viewing lap right now.
Well, actually,
when you see me without my viewing lap hat on, feel free to come up and talk to me. But right now, just like let me do my thing.
No, sometimes my camera actually works for that. Like if I'm walking around with the camera, like I'm holding it up like I'm filming, then people won't interrupt. So maybe I just need to do that.
Liam's about to do like the camera equivalent of putting your headphones in without any music on, just so people don't talk to him.
I'm about to build a chest rig so I can just keep it there the whole time. No. Anyway, I want to get off this topic because this whole thing just makes me feel fucking weird.
But no,
back to Riverside.
Yeah, I think to wrap it up, just like, I don't know, be considerate. Just anybody in any place, just like be considerate.
If you see, also, oh my God, how many times did this happen? If you see me in the middle of a conversation with somebody, please don't, I don't care if you're my friend, please don't come up and like dap me up and start talking to me while I'm in the middle of a conversation. It's the rudest fucking thing. The person that I'm probably having a conversation with, they probably don't know me and I don't know them that well. And for you to come up if you're my friend, that's just disrespectful. Please don't do that. It like it puts me in an awkward situation because of course I want to give you your attention. You're my friend, but like I'm having a conversation with somebody and just don't do that. Like social cues, pick up on them, please.
I think we'll just say this. Anybody that listens to this podcast will know me and Liam are going to wear blue hats. No, I'm just kidding.
No, we're not.
All right, so
we're going to wear red hats. No, we're not.
So, but yeah, I was really pleasantly, and I think that's what we're gonna do today. Is kind of we were chatting about that. Is and I don't know how people feel about like when we do the thing where we go through photos, but this. For anybody that has not seen my story this weekend, I promised myself last Riverside because last Riverside, I probably took like 5 photos of the entire weekend. Yeah. Just in any context. And when I got to the end of it, I was like, well, that fucking sucks. I want to remember stuff and I don't have any picture. So I told myself, I was like, Riverside this year, I'm going to be taking pictures of stuff so I can like remember it. And so I did, and I did a little leg workout because I decided the aesthetic that I wanted on my story was to do like really low angle with the car at the bottom of the thing.
Matt became a photographer for one day,
and it was awesome, but it was also very painful for my legs because of the amount of time, like the amount of like extreme squats I was doing, and my legs were not used to that. Honestly, I had a lot of fun with that. It was, and like I said, it was much easier than I thought it would be because I got those fucking 4 uninterrupted laps of just doing my thing. But yeah, I decided that I was going to do that just for fun. And like, as it turned out, apparently I was like providing a public service to the people that follow that account.
Me. You were providing a service to me.
And I didn't realize that because I was having plenty of people like DMing me on that account like, hey man, I really appreciate you doing this. Like I couldn't go to Riverside. I had to work. I had to do this and that. And like, you posting all of these cars, like I feel like I'm getting to see all the cool shit. And that felt really good. Cause again, I didn't that's not why I did it. That wasn't initially like in my
Yeah.
brain. But yeah, I mean, every car, and what I'm gonna do is, I am gonna make a highlight reel and put it in the Substance map profile of all of the cars that I took photos of from Riverside this year. So you can go look at those. But it was just like I said, man. Every year I find myself saying this has been the best year yet, because the quality of cars just like keeps going up. It just keeps going up.
It was ridiculous.
And like I said, you know, with the with the 7 degrees of Riverside, more and more people every year are learning about Riverside and applying to be in Riverside. So it's like you just get this even bigger pool of like cool shit.
If more and more like really, really high-end cars are applying, there's only limited space. There is a limited amount of space that they can put cars there, and so each year that it gets bigger and bigger, you can expect the quality of cars to go up because it starts filtering it out. Like they don't have to let in, you know, cars that maybe aren't like top tier. If all of the cars are top tier that are applying, and they only have enough space for however, you know, X amount of cars, then it's just going to get better.
Yeah.
And we love that. And I think this year was really like, I mean, every year has been absolutely fantastic. Since the first year that I went, that was 2017, I've been so in love with this show. It is so big now. Like at the end of the day yesterday, like after I was done with everything and I could relax for a second, like I caught up with Mason and dude, I just gave him a big hug, and I was like, man, I'm so fucking proud. Like, I've known you for only a couple of years, and, like, we're close friends, but I've known this event and seen it, like, grow from the start, like, just in a really organic way. And I just felt this, like, I don't know, I kind of wanted to cry. I was like, I just felt this crazy amount of pride towards what he has built, what this event is, what the whole team has built for Riverside, and just, like, this part of the country. Like, I don't think that there is another show now that is doing what Riverside is. You know, for a lot of people, maybe throwing it back a while, First Class Fitment was like the show to go to for a lot of people. Like, visually, it's beautiful, unique venue, crazy hot, you know, crazy high quality cars, like all of this stuff. And I don't think that for a while there's been anything that really like compares. And I'm not going to say Riverside's the same as First Class Fitment. It's not, but it's that same type of thing where it's a very unique show that you can look forward to every single year that brings out the top cars. And there isn't anything else for me like in this part of the country that's doing that. Like I think Southern Fresh does a really, really good job, and that event is awesome, but it's nowhere near as big.
Well,
and
one thing I'm kind of thinking about as you're talking is like one of the things that makes Riverside feel like this is where they place their focus, and that it's like a communal thing.
Yeah.
It emphasizes like this feeling of community a lot. And the thing about that is like the other meet that always stays in my head, I've talked about it a million times, but Solo. Yeah. Solo was the same way. Helen is like a really, really small town. Yeah. And it was just the way that show was. Like I could, throughout the year, I could like feel it and see it in my head, how it felt to come around that corner and the trees clear and you just see Helen and there's just fucking cars everywhere and you're just like, I fucking made it. Like that's kind of like that's like Riverside, you know. And I think
you turn down Reggie White Boulevard and like you can see the Spectator lot off to the left entirely full, and then you keep going down and like there's just cars everywhere. Yeah. Everywhere.
That just gets imprinted in your brain, you know, and it's just like, I think that's the thing. I really think that is, and y'all can take this to the bank. I mean, that's kind of going to be what gives a show longevity. Yeah. And makes a show, you know, halfway good, is like being able to create this feeling of community. Yeah. I mean,
dude, I think you kind of summarized it perfectly, that like coming around the corner and the we made it feeling. Yeah. I think that encompasses everything that like I'm feeling about it
Yeah.
for sure. It's like when you pull up and see that, it's that overwhelming feeling of like, holy shit.
Yeah, we did it.
I'm here. Like, we didn't do anything, but I'm here. This is special.
Well, no,
this feels
like,
special.
The we did it thing is more geared, and you're going to feel this. Like, the first year you get to take the LS, like, that's how so many Riverside
That's a good
prep
point. I hadn't even thought of that.
Dude,
yeah.
Riverside prep in and of itself is like, if you think about it too hard, like I have,
Yeah.
Riverside prep is so interesting because that's like, that's basically like almost there.
Mm-hmm.
Almost there. You know what I mean? Because that's the thing is when people wrap their car up and can bring it to Riverside, the minute, like you said, the minute you turn down Reggie White, you're like, oh, fuck yeah, I fucking did this shit, man. You know what I mean? Because it's like
that's a fair point. I didn't even think about it from the car point of view.
And it's just like, but yeah, I went to Solo obviously long before I went to Riverside, and they both create that same kind of feeling, just this really like warm, communal feeling where it's just kind of like, fucking made it, dude.
Hell yeah.
Fucking made it to another Riverside. And it's just like, it's me, every that's why everybody keeps coming back, because everybody just wants to feel that feeling every time. And it's like, I think that's the craziest part about it is it just gets better every time. You get to have that feeling, and then you like get into the show, and you're like, what the fuck?
And I swear that like even in saying that, like every year, I feel like there's so many cars like that I have never seen before.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like there's cars that just pop out of the woodwork. I'll give you a prime example. One of the booth cars that I had, it actually kind of worked out kind of funny. So Friday, I had all my booth cars set. Like I had everything, or at least I thought everything was going to be cool. And one of my booth cars was a friend of ours, Matt Herring, who is local. I guess he'd had an issue with getting tires mounted or getting an alignment at the last second. And so he couldn't make it to be a booth car. And I'm at the pre-meet, and I see this LS430, this high radius, like on the ground. It's purple, roll by. And immediately I'm just like, who the fuck owns that? Who owns that? Whose car is that? And I like managed to walk around and find it. And luckily, when I walked up to the thing, fucking Speedy Pete was like coming by the other way in his all road. And I see him point out the window, and he's looking at me, and he's pointing at the car, and he goes, look at this. Did you fucking see this thing? And I'm like, yeah, who the fuck owns this? And he's like, hold on. Let me call the guy. I'll get him over here. You got to talk to him. I was like, please, I need this car. And he got the guy to come over. His name is Matt. I guess he's not the owner now, but he's the original owner. He built the car. I think it's like Insomnia Motorsports or something. They do a bunch of really cool stuff now, but back in the day, he built this car. And I guess the car was built like 5 years ago or some shit, and it's been sitting around not painted for a long time. It used to be white. And I guess he sold it to like his younger brother, and they decided to wrap it before the show because they couldn't find somebody to paint it. And it looks incredible. Like, yeah, wrap is definitely not the way to go, but obviously they had to do what they could. But this is a car that's been, built years ago, really, really well, and just kind of sitting around. No one's seen it. For it to come back out, and then, I met the guy, talked to him, he was cool, and managed to secure it as a booth car the next day. I had this car front and center, best spot in the entire pavilion for pictures, it was really busy, so it's kind of hard to get pictures, but I had this car front and center, just absolute showpiece. This thing is beautiful, and I've never seen it before. I'd seen old pictures of it when it was white, and there were so many people that have been like, yo, I remember this car, it was white. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen any other shows on this part of the country that do that. No. This car is not from here. I don't even know where it's from. Like, this show brings out cars that I've never seen before, new and old, and they're all super quality. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's just everywhere you fucking turn, he's doing it right. Like,
and this is why, I'm tired of indoor shows. Like, there's so many events that happen, but they're all so just blah. Like, convention center shows, like, it's boring, and it ends up bringing out a lot of the same cars. It's the same people, and it's awesome to go, hang out with people for a weekend, hang out with your homies, party, whatever you want to do. But like, we're all here because we're car enthusiasts, and there comes a point where it's like, all right, I've seen the same 300 cars every year for 5 years. I want something different. Riverside is that something different, I swear. And yes, there's going to be some of the same cars that you've seen before, but I just think the variety at Riverside is what sets it apart from anything else. The variety, the uniqueness of the venue, that community feeling, it is so special.
And the thing is, though, like, obviously, all of that stuff goes in concert with each other. You know what I mean? Like, you can, I was about to say you could have shitty cars in a shitty venue, but like that would still, if the cars are cool enough, you're kind of like, well, I can deal with that.
That's true.
But ideally, you want to have all of those knocked out. And it's just kind of like.
Yeah, they work together. Like having a good venue that people can get good pictures at is what's going to bring people out with good cars, because people with good cars want good pictures. Well, the good venue provides that.
Right. And it's just like, that's. From a logistics standpoint, I get it. Convention centers are very easy. They're set up for events.
Right.
Like this and that. I get it. But
if it was easy, we'd all do it.
Yeah. If you want to have a show that is of any kind of consequence.
That like goes down as like legendary.
You know
like
what I mean?
Some of
like,
these shows,
they're just like anything we ever fucking talk about. You have to have a vision and you have to put in the work to do that. And it's like the crazy. Okay, think about it this way. These shows that are like barbecue, like Zach's Northside News.
Oh, his like right? Little chill meet at his house.
So that was like, it's like you just said, that was like a little chill meet.
Yeah.
Right. But like he thought about it. He thought about like, I'm gonna have this in my house, whatever. And I mean, granted, the exclusivity at the time kind of like added to that. Mm-hmm. But like the point is, you can have like a really small meet.
Yeah.
But if you focus on all of those aspects and people see photos of that, they're going to be like, yo, what is
really
that?
Cool.
I want to go to that.
That's exactly what the first year of Riverside did to me.
So it's like, you can have a fucking meet with your friends, just literally just your friends. You could have a meet with 20 fucking cars in it.
Yeah.
With just your friends. But if you do that in the right spot and you do it in the neighborhood of like the same time every year, you as a part of that friend group, once you get to that area, you're going to start feeling like that. Fuck yeah. It's time again. You know what I mean?
Oh,
and that's absolutely. So it's like you literally, if you have all of those things, I'm not going to say like you're in, because there's a lot of things that you can do outside of those things that would make it a really shitty show. But like, the point is anybody that's really genuinely interested in event organizing, if you go to Riverside and you feel that feeling that I'm referring to, hold on to that. Like, really look at how Riverside is doing that. And frankly, for other shows like that, like I think one of the only reasons that, at least for me, I have not yet been to Simply Clean.
Simply Clean, yeah. Everybody talks about Simply Clean the same way. 100%.
So it's just like, if you are genuinely interested in being an event organizer and putting on, a really high quality event like this that people will continue to come back to and will grow every year. Like
what Mason was saying when we had him on here and we were talking about like what it took for him to then like get to the point where he started Riverside. That was an 8-year process of him attending events and taking notes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what you need to be doing. You need to be, like, go to every event and be taking notes. If you're interested in getting into hosting events, be a sponge.
Yeah, learn how to be good at it.
What do you think I've been doing for the past 6 years that I've been, like, attending events in the U.S.? 7, 8 years that I've been attending events in total. Like, I've just been absorbing things because I want to get into event stuff. And Riverside for me is like a huge inspiration. What?
Liam's like, God, I can't wait to get out of the booth. I can't wait to get out of the booth and host the meet instead and never be on a walk.
No, I know. I am incapable of ever enjoying any of the things that I do. That's how you know I'm about this shit for the community, is because I will sacrifice my own fucking happiness so that everybody else can have a fucking good time.
Don't worry. I'll make sure he can go to at least a few meets and just chill.
Yeah.
But,
we'll try.
So yeah, but I mean, all that I feel like that's stuff that we've touched on before. But yeah.
Well, also I do want to give the disclaimer that, you know, we're not saying that about event stuff to try and take away from anybody else that does events, or say that like people who do convention center shows, we're not trying to say that that's any less hard work. You guys clearly obviously work super hard on it and you put on these events. We're just trying to give our flowers to Riverside because they do a really fucking good job, and we're paying attention, absorbing all of the things and seeing, you know, the work that's put into so many little things. So I don't want that to take away from any other event organizers or any of that stuff. You guys all work super hard, and you obviously, if your show is huge, that speaks for itself. But yeah, we're just giving flowers to Riverside and really like,
as usual,
giving a clap to how incredible that was.
But yeah, so I don't know. Do you want to like run through the photos or?
Oh, I do want to mention like the 2 days leading up to Riverside just a little bit. Thursday and Friday, like kind of the days that everybody's getting into town.
So you can. I wasn't really there for a lot of it. So
yeah, Matt was at work during the day, but I had the LS out, took it downtown. I wanted to make sure that, you know, I'm in the stage of like testing the fuck out of the car, so I'm like actively trying to break stuff.
He's doing a great job.
But I took it downtown, and I'll touch on it briefly because I don't want to go into it in full detail because I'll cover this in a YouTube video. But I am so impressed with how well the car did, like in everything. I've jumped this thing off of so many things the past couple of days, and it has taken the abuse. But yeah, Thursday we had a couple different meets. There was an E36 meet that I did not get to attend. Obviously, I don't have an E36, but I did pull up to the 90s only meet, which was sick. I thoroughly enjoyed. It was hosted by Obsessed Worldwide. Shout out to Luke Turner. Super good dude. He just finished up his E36 that is absolutely fucking wild.
That's an art car. I fucking love that thing.
It's... Oh, excuse me. I had a burp and I like covered my mouth and then accidentally tapped the mic. Yeah, his E36 is ridiculous. It's got like that BMW art livery. Just go to Instagram and look at it because I can't describe how sick this car is.
It's on my story for the record.
Perfect. Yeah, go look. But yeah, that 90s only meet was really cool because that was like the first time I get to like catch up with people, and it was really small. And so like the people that were there were really just people that I knew and liked, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. And this is a perfect way to transition into our show's sponsor, Wheel Price. I actually met with the guys from Wheel Price at the 90s only meet. They pulled up in their Civics. So it was an EG and an EF Civic. Super cool, both white hatches.
So I'm sad because I didn't get to meet either of them. But since I would imagine that you guys are listening to this for sponsor reasons,
yeah,
that both of the cars are awesome, but that EF is like me spec.
Oh,
like
it's
those,
sick. It's so sick.
Those Enki fans are just like, so I've beat the dead horse about how much I'm like a closed face wheel guy.
Mm-hmm.
So all of my ideas for like cars, basically the style that I want to do on basically any car I own for the rest forever is like a super futuristic, like, I don't want to use the word.
Well, you're saying like,
but
well, it's like futuristic from like if you were looking at it from the perspective of the 90s, right? Is that your take on it?
Yes.
So if you're in the 90s, you're like, oh, this would be futuristic,
right?
Okay.
So like that car is fucking perfect. Like those wheels, they take up the entire, or the fans anyway, they take up the entire face of the wheels. And they just have like little groups of 3 slits. Mm-hmm. And it's on this ridiculously clean white EF, which is right-hand drive, if I remember correctly, mm-hmm. right? And it's so clean, it's so simple, and those wheels with the fans are just like amazing. And then one thing that tickled me was like I'm already like it looks super futuristic, and he's got the QR code on it, and I'm just like that just works. That just works for like how this car looks, and it was super cool. So shout out to the Wheel Price boys that I unfortunately did not get to meet yet.
Yeah, it was cool to run into them. The first thing that Kyle said to me as I was walking over to say what's up was, "Damn, that mustache is powerful. Thank you for that." That made me feel great, honestly. But it was really cool, and I actually took Kyle for a ride in the LS, which was super fun. I think he had a blast. I don't know if he's ever been in a car like that, but that was sick. But yeah, I want to say a huge shout out to our show sponsor, Wheel Price. You guys are fucking awesome. It was great to meet you guys. We still want to have you on the podcast. And if you guys,
it'll be great to meet you guys one day.
And yeah, if you guys want to go check out the app, please do. Wheel Price is an app that's basically set up like the forums were back in the day, where you can buy and sell wheels. There's all kinds of stuff on there, and kind of like Matt was describing, like clearly they have an interest in, you know, niche wheels and stuff like that, like he's saying with the Enkis and the fans on them. There's a lot of interesting stuff on there, and they're a good group of guys that are just enthusiasts like us. And so, yeah, if you're in the market for a new set of wheels, or you are looking to sell wheels and you don't want to deal with any of the bullshit that comes with Facebook Marketplace or whatever other classifieds, Wheel Price is just a good place to go. And all the links will be in the description on wherever you are listening or watching this podcast. So go check them out. Either download the app on Apple or Android, and you can go on the website, I think, to use it if you don't use either, but everybody has a smartphone, so
Speaking of, just a real quick thing, speaking of getting gassed up, this obviously only applies to my friends basically, but I had more than a few people like see me and be like, "Holy shit, dude, you look great," and I'm like, "Thanks." And then I realized the last time I saw me, I probably had like a good 50 to like 60 pounds more than I am right now.
That's
and
totally
so
fair.
many people were like, "Dude, you look great." And I'm like, "Thank you." It did not occur to me at all.
Yeah.
Like when I walked into the show that the last time some of these people saw me, I did not look like how I do now. So
I suppose
that felt pretty good, but I don't. He just said the mustache thing, and I was like, I want to say the thing, but
yeah, the 90s only meet was really cool, and from there I had to swing over and pick up all of the merchandise stuff, which I actually got my car stuck at my supplier's place. I like pulled into their driveway, and it was deceiving that it looked flat, but the middle of the like dip down had some dirt in it, so it looked like it was flat, and of course I just like three-wheeled and got stuck. But I got it out, and then I hosted a meet that evening that was under, is it I-27?
No, that's the Walnut Street Bridge.
Walnut Street? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Walnut Street, what?
Hold on. Now I'm thinking.
No, it's 27. It goes to fucking Signal Mountain.
Hold on, I don't remember. It was under a fucking bridge.
All right. Anyway,
it was under a bridge on the side of a river. It was very nice looking.
Yeah, hosted this pop up meet under a bridge next to the river. Super pretty spot. It was actually really funny how it worked out, because I was parking all of the cars like up kind of behind these pillars in like a cool spot that it's nice to park cars. And I assumed people were probably just gonna pull in and park wherever looked cool. People were like, They just pulled into the lot next to it and parked in the spaces. And I was like, honestly, that's awesome, because it didn't ruin the spot. We didn't have anybody like doing anything stupid. And I don't know if this is something that's just like set in stone now, but I think maybe people know that if you come to a meet that I host and you act like a dickhead, I will embarrass you in front of all of your friends. Well, and so people just don't
honestly,
do it.
That is. I didn't even really think about that until right now. That was a pretty like.
It was so
chill,
calm,
not ridiculous,
tame, and we actually even Republic Parking showed up at like, I don't know. The sun had basically just gone down. This guy from Republic Parking was like, "Hey," he was really nice about it initially. Like he was like, "Hey, the cars are really cool."
He was nice to you.
He was nice to me. He didn't know that I was the organizer.
He gave me a $20 ticket
for
being a foot out of my space.
Well, man,
and
you should
like
have
the
parked in your
next
space.
parking lot over. Victoria was parked next to. There's not.
No, well, I
hope,
think
personally, I hope Republic Parking steps on a Lego. That's all I'm saying.
We're not fans of Republic Parking. I will say that they are Nazis here in Chattanooga.
I
but
hope they step on a Lego.
But anyway, he was like, the cars are really cool. You guys can't park in this area because it's reserved for handicap and buses. Although nobody has ever used this lot. Like, it's empty always.
Mason was saying that it was like for
construction
years
for
before
a while.
Yeah, it was just
shit,
like a fenced off construction staging area.
Anyways, I told everyone, hey, we just got to move over to the other parking lot and just pay for parking and you're good. So we all moved over to this parking lot next door and parked the cars. And of course, nobody paid for parking. So the guy started going around and giving everybody tickets. And then it was getting dark by this point. And we were just like, yeah, let's go get some fucking dinner. And yeah, that's what it is. If you didn't pay for parking, you got a ticket. I really apologize. But you're in a parking lot where it says you have to pay for parking. If you don't pay for parking, you get a ticket. That's on you. Sorry.
I wonder if they have apparatuses.
What did you just say?
Apparatus. But then I like tried it plural. I have no idea if that's the real word or not. But like, I wonder if they have fucking. Here's what I'm thinking. So the holes for the bolts that hold in your license plate.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they have something where it's like it'll screw in there just like normal, but then it's like a super fucking strong magnet, so you can just take off your plate.
Like a quick release plate,
whatever you want, and then just put it in your trunk and park wherever the fuck you want because they don't have a plate to connect it to you.
I could do that with my car, but it's pretty recognizable.
Mine, however, is not.
Yeah, yours would be fine. My car, if I did that, they would just see it any other day on the street with the plate on it. Be like,
yeah, oh no.
Oh, his plate.
It's that guy again.
His plate says VIP-ness.
Yeah, you didn't do yourself a service with that one as far as getting away with parking.
It is what it is. But yeah, that meet was cool. It was pretty cool.
I agree, and it was, it kind of went into when it was, getting dark and some people started showing up. Not a million people, but some people started showing up with like underglow and shit. And that was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it was dope, and it dispersed, and we went and got some food, and actually I went to the same photo spot that I go to every year with my car to take the same exact picture. Like, I line it up on the same line, and then I have to compose it the exact same way, because every year that I take the car, I like to be able to like reflect back and see the changes. Obviously, the car looked goofy as hell because it's a million different colors. It's
fake Mercedes.
It's got a Mercedes badge on the front. Shout out to Ben for putting that on there. We actually we did that because I got pulled over and the cop thought the car was European, so now it is. And also just like having the Mercedes badge on the front kind of lets people know that like, hey, I'm not serious by bringing this car out. Like, I'm not trying to show it off. It's definitely not done.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at it, you see a Mercedes badge on the front, you're like, oh, well, this guy's obviously joking. The car's kind of cool, but he's not that serious. So, yeah. But, yeah, Thursday was really good. That was the first time in a couple of years I have gotten to enjoy my car again. I drove around downtown a little bit, had the windows up, and just listening to music by myself. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I haven't had, I was saying this in the end of the vlog that I filmed that day, but, for a lot of us, driving our car, just cruising it around, listening to music or whatever is a very distinct feeling. It's kind of that, it can be a release.
It's therapeutic.
When you're stressed out. Exactly. It's a therapeutic thing. I haven't had that release for 2 years. I have not had, my car that I can just go and drive and listen to music. I've not even had a car that's had a decent sound system in it for 2 years. My dailies have had shit sound systems. And so it felt so fucking good to experience that again. And yeah, I'm just stoked. Like to just drive the car and enjoy it the way that I did a couple of years ago, the last time I was here for Riverside. Mm-hmm. It felt really good. And the fact that I live here and know that I could technically take the car downtown and do the same exact thing any day of the week, it's a good feeling. But yeah, Friday.
Yeah, I'm so stoked. It's actually behind the camera, so he and I are both just like staring.
Oh
at it
no,
as
it's if it looks funny if you're watching on YouTube, we're not staring at the camera, we're kind of looking through it. But the car is in the garage, and I'm like, I just keep looking at it because I'm just stoked. I'm so fucking
It's just
happy
such
with this
a
car.
fucking unit.
Yeah, and Matt got to see it rolling on the interstate.
Yeah, that was, dude. So I gotta say, like, when you watch enough like YouTube videos of VIP cars in Japan, seeing like the super crazy VIP cars like rolling with the super stiff spring rates, like it's a very like distinct, I don't want to say feeling, but it just kind of creates that like internal like feeling.
It's just it's your brain going
Like
that's hard.
That's Japan. Like for me, it's kind of like that's Japan. And so when we were driving home and I saw him, you know, I was behind him, I was in front of him, I was next to him. And I'm like, that motherfucker is skating right now, dude. And so, like, when I got behind him and I was watching him, like, go over, like, bumps and shit and, like, little rises when there's, like, a bridge and stuff, and I'm just seeing the ass of the cars go...
Yeah, it's got that. It has that really little controlled bounce to it on bumps. It's very much just like...
I think the thing that I enjoyed the most, honestly, which I hadn't told you this yet, but, I mean, I guess it's not a surprise, but, like, the amount of work that you put in setting it up so that the camber like is literally just a continuation of the body line.
Dude, from the back, it looks
that
so
shit
sick.
From a mile away, dude.
Yeah.
It looks so good.
It makes me so happy to like see everything that I've like planned out in my head, because like a lot of people don't even realize that. Like, there's kind of a science to how I've like planned the car, and I want to make a YouTube video on it when it's done and like literally like show a picture and draw the lines on it of like what I was thinking when I did this. But like, yeah, like you're saying,
yeah, it's
lining up those camber angles to where it follows the body lines was like a huge thing, and it just fucking helps with the flow of the car.
Yeah, but see, I don't know, man. There's just something about, and I think we can all agree about this, whether we realize it or not, whether we're into super like stancy low cars or not, like there's just something about seeing a car fucking skating.
Yeah.
Like it literally looks like it's just kind of like hovering.
It's kind of like
wheels on it.
It's kind of like that feeling that you were saying about you love cars that look like they're melting into the ground. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like that, except it's fucking moving.
Yeah, exactly. It just kind of looks like it's sliding around. It's cool, man.
Yeah, and I think it's the rear end of the car that does a lot of that.
Yeah,
like dude, I couldn't tell you for how many years I nitpicked my fucking car because I didn't have a rear bumper. Like that I liked, like the OEM rear bumper sits so high. To have this bumper and have it set up to where it's basically like it's 3 feet. The bumper itself is like 3 feet long.
Yeah,
it's on the ground and it's not hitting the floor. Did I throw any sparks on the interstate?
You did, but only when you were coming down off like a rise for like a bridge.
Yeah, and just like to know that like the car is half an inch off the floor and it's just driving and just skating over stuff, like you said. It's a fucking cool feeling.
It's a really cool. But we'll leave gushing for your car.
Yeah.
For later,
anyway, I can save that for the other YouTube videos. Friday, I didn't actually do a whole lot Friday. I met up with my friends who have Y32 SEMAs, and we just kind of hung out for the majority of the day. We got food. We ended up shooting at the pavilion. It was really relaxed, and that I think was one of my favorite parts of the weekend because I wasn't running around under pressure to like get something done. I was just hanging out with, a couple of my friends that have nice cars that I quite like, and that was fun. I was like,
hey, that's what it takes sometimes, man.
Yeah, usually for Riverside, like the day before, I'd probably be running around trying to do shoots and stuff, and I wanted to take pictures of their cars, but I was like, man, if it doesn't happen, that's fine. That was like the first time I haven't put pressure on myself to do that, so... That was really cool, and yeah.
I think I'm gonna force Liam to just like do nothing at Riverside next year.
I think you just need to get me really high, so I won't do anything. But then again,
or I can just strong arm you into not fucking doing anything.
But sometimes it doesn't even work like that too, because sometimes I'll be high and super super focused on wanting to do things, so it doesn't work.
That's why I'm just gonna strong arm you into.
It is just how my brain works that I cannot not work hard.
I'll just sedate him.
I have a work ethic.
It's gonna be like Weekend at Bernie's, but it'll just be Liam, and I'll drive the Majesta, and he'll be in the passenger seat, just like passed out with sunglasses on.
Here's how I can best explain how my brain works sometimes. You know how people have FOMO?
Yeah.
But it usually applies to like social situations or like parties, stuff like that.
Yeah.
While my FOMO applies to opportunities.
Yeah.
I will kick myself if I miss out on opportunities. And so I work my absolute fucking hardest to make sure that I don't miss out on things and that I get all the things done that I like want to. But I'm always constantly disappointed in myself because I cannot achieve all of the things in my head. It's not possible.
Not for
it's
nothing.
Not
like I feel like that's even more of an excuse to like literally just like take an off year. Because the thing about that is like, if you operate, which I get that, because that was kind of always my one thing when I was designing decals for Not Fast, or doing anything for Not Fast for that matter. It's kind of like, if you don't do it right now, somebody else is going to do it before you.
I'm never even worried about that.
Well, that always haunted me. But what I was going to say is like, when you're like that and you operate like that and you're like, I got.
Mm-hmm.
You have all of this like leftover kinetic energy from each new cycle where you pick a different thing that just follows you. Whereas if you like take, you know, a year, however long you want to take, where you just like put all of it on the floor and just kind of leave it there, you're able to come back and be fresher and kind of look at all of that and see like, is any of this worth, if any of this is worth like looking at, let's look at it. Further than that, like, let's just look forward and try this again.
It's like what you're saying. Liam hates being at the booth, being stuck at the booth all day. He can't wait to be the guy running the show.
Exactly.
You know what's funny? Before I was a vendor for shows, I was the guy running around filming and shooting the shows. I've never been able to go to car shows and just enjoy myself. So, yeah, that's on me. That's my own psychological problems. But the Friday was really chill, and there was a pre-meet which was actually sick. I pulled the car up and, you know, obviously, like I said, I got super overwhelmed with people trying to talk to me. But I got really sunburnt too.
Bro,
I got really sunburnt.
I was fucking dying when so I hadn't seen Liam all day because I worked that day, and so I showed up, and admittedly, I did exactly what he was just like, please don't do that. Well, I didn't like try and start a conversation with you, but you were talking to somebody and I came up and like slapped your chest and I was like, hey, buddy. And I handed you the Arizona tea, you remember?
Oh, wait.
No, the Arizona tea was yesterday.
Saturday, yeah.
But no, on the pre-meet day, I walked up and I like patted your chest. I was like, hey, buddy, because I had just gotten off work. And you were in the middle of talking to somebody. And I was like, holy fuck, dude, how long have you been in the sun? His face was red as fuck.
Yeah.
His face is so red.
I couldn't get away from it, man. People be talking.
But no, it was, dude, I hate that you like felt so overwhelmed, and I get it, but I enjoyed the fuck out of the pre-meet. It
looked sick.
That was another one where I just like, I was kind of blown away because I was getting uninterrupted laps.
Yeah.
Of just like walking around and just seeing what was there. And it's just like, it's so funny because I hate how like weirdly conceited it sounds for me to be like, my millions of adoring, you know, fans and friends like didn't, you know what I mean? But it's like, it really is nice. Like when you can go to a show and just look at shit, just like appreciate cars for the fact that they're cars and somebody built them.
I think this is why I have this drive for when my car is done to not take it to stance shows. I want to take it to different shows. Like I want to go to classic car shows. I want to go to like hot rod shows.
If you pulled up to a lowrider show once that thing's done, I think it would fucking kill. Honestly.
I think if I pulled up to a hot rod show, I think that honestly it would get respect at a hot rod show.
I don't know. It would definitely get attention. With all the boomers there, respect is kind of...
okay.
Well, because listen...
It's like the car's like a rat rod.
Me and Dante took his fucking Supra to a hot rod show. No, we did that.
I know, but I'm saying that's different, though.
Is it, though? It's a super crazy setup Japanese car.
That thing's way more wild than my car is. I feel like my car's wild, but it's understated.
To the general demographic...
Yeah.
Of American hot rods and rat rods. The rat rod guys would probably be that's pretty cool. Yeah. But the hot rod guys are going to be like, what the fuck is that shit?
That's true.
They're not going to care that it's fucking like crazy low and iced out. But regardless,
I guess we'll see.
The attention will be there. So it'll be interesting to see people's reaction.
Not to say that I want the attention.
He only built the car for attention.
Yes.
That's literally 100%.
That's why I'm on my podcast talking about how I hate so many people talking to me.
In all of his YouTube videos. The minute he turns the camera off, he's like, God, I'm going to get so much attention for this.
Dude, I saw a tweet the other day that I've never related like more to. Yeah. Somebody said, people say I built my car for attention, but I have a panic attack at every stoplight when people look at me. I was like, that's exactly how I feel. Yeah, I've joked about, well, not even joked. I've talked about how like when the car's done, I'll like have all the interior stuff done. Yeah. I want to take the tint off so people can see the interior.
I don't want that. I'm not going to take the tint off anymore.
I literally do not want that.
I'm just going to make it even darker now.
No, I don't want people to fucking see me. I want to enjoy my car, but holy shit, I get so fucking anxious at the attention that it gets. It's ridiculous. Anyways.
That's good.
The show. I want to get onto the actual show. Obviously, like I said, I was at the booth the whole day, which the booth was crazy. I tell everyone the same thing. I always do these TAM windbreakers for Riverside and, very limited numbers of them. And I tell everyone I'm not selling them until Spectator roll in, which Spectator was 12. And so everybody was coming up before 12 and like, hey, can I get a jacket in this size? I'm like, nope.
Nope.
I was like, nope, I don't want to sell them until 12 because I want to make sure that everybody has an equal opportunity to get these. And it creates that demand. And at 12 o'clock, I had a line of easily 150 people, like from the booth all the way back. It was insane. And for the first hour or so, it was absolutely madness. And I want to say a huge shout out to Q. Q was one of my booth cars.
Yeah, Q's a super cool guy, man.
He had a UCF 20 like mine that's high radius. His car's a lot wider than mine, but it's this dark green color. It's got a Prius rear bumper, I think. Or maybe it's from some like newer Lexus SUV. I don't know why I was trying to say UCF for a second. Super, super sick car. It's on SSR Koenigs too. Really, really good dude. He could see that I was about to be insanely busy. Shout out to him and Madison. Madison was helping me run the booth. Q was literally, while people were in line, he was going down the line and taking people's orders. And I didn't even realize he was doing this. Like, people would come up to the booth and I'm like, hey, what can I help you with?
He was like, let me hit you up with some Chick-fil-A madness right
I swear. Like, people would come up to get to the front of the line and I'd be like, hey, what can I help you with? I'm like, oh, no, I've already been helped. And I was like,
by whom?
I turn around and like they've already like stacked up the orders ahead so that they can like get them in the bags and get everything ready. And then all I have to do is like talk to the people, have a chit chat for a second and do the transaction. I was like, what the fuck? So shout out to Q for just.
Why did we wait until my last show to do this?
I know, but like Madison was killing it all day. She was working super hard. And Q, shout out for just taking the initiative and doing that. That helped me a ton. So for the first like hour and a half, it was pretty crazy. And then, we didn't have the line after that, but it was consistent all day. It was madness.
For nothing, just on a very small like personal note, Q is such a cool guy. Q, if you're listening, you're such a cool guy. Mm-hmm. And the way that so had you met him in person before that?
Never met you.
So that little saga right there is fucking perfect, and it happens to me, and I'm sure to basically everybody at Riverside every single year. Mm-hmm. So we went to Hair. If y'all are ever in Chattanooga, go to Hair to the Dog and get chicken tenders. They're amazing. So we went to Hair, and it was, who was it? You, me, Gage, Ben, Victoria. It was just us, right? Yeah. So we went there, and Q just kind of showed up, and he just sat down with us, and like all of a sudden we're all just fucking chilling, chatting, talking about LSs and shit, and then we all just kind of ended up hanging out the next day too, and all of a sudden Q's our fucking friend. Like
Q's the fucking homie now. Like,
and it's like.
I'd have him stay here for a weekend for sure. Like, Q, come hang out.
That's kind of how I think that really is the feeling that makes it for all of us. And this is, this is not a specifically Riverside thing. In my experience, this is a specifically Car Friends thing.
Yeah.
But Riverside does such a good... The fact that Riverside is Riverside and it's in Chattanooga, because Chattanooga is like so self-contained, there's so many more opportunities for it to happen. But like that dude you've talked to on the internet a couple times, meeting them in person, they're cool as fuck. And by the end of the weekend, you're like homies.
Good friends, yeah.
Dude, that is like the coolest fucking feeling.
Oh, yeah.
It is the coolest. And it was like, that was a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
Like
shout out to Q for
we all met him, you know.
Being cool.
What day was that?
Was
that Friday?
It was Thursday.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
Thursday after my meet, yeah.
And so, anyway, yeah, I just want to point that out. Q's a super, super cool guy. His car is fucking incredible. Yeah. And that was just, that little process was just...
Oh, it was dope.
Awesome.
But yeah, enough about me at the show. I want to talk about your experience with the show and some of the cars that you saw and some of the highlights.
So, like I said, I mean, my experience was pretty simple. It was just really dynamic for me because, like I said, the idea that I got 4 uninterrupted laps, and I'm talking about the entire show.
I just burped. I'm sorry if anybody heard that. I tried to keep my mouth closed.
I'm talking about the entire show, like Expo, Spectator, Lot, and Pavilion. The entire show.
Yeah.
So like after the first 2 laps, I was like, "There's no fucking way I'm gonna be able to do this again." No. And I just because. You know, it's like every time I would like notice a new one or I would like take a look, whatever. And it was just like, that was so interesting to me because like we said, I think for most of us back when we started this, at least for most photographers probably, you know, back when you got into this stuff, you were just kind of, what is that called? Like parking lot lurking or something. Mm-hmm. That's just kind of what you did.
Yeah.
Especially if you didn't really have like friends that were into this yet. That's just what you did. And it was kind of like, you know, I guess it depends on the person. Some people probably were like, damn, I wish I could have made some friends. And other people were like, I don't fucking like people. I'm totally cool doing this.
I just want to look at cars.
So, but the point is, it's like, I've just gotten so used to like running into people. And realistically, even when you run into somebody and you're doing laps with them, it's like, that's really nice. But I can't speak for anybody else. But a part of me, like in situations like that, I really enjoyed doing that, but I enjoy it a lot more if I've had my lap.
Yeah,
to be
going
myself.
To see everything, and then afterwards you can kind of socialize.
Right, because when you're talking to somebody as you're doing that, you're like missing stuff, and it's like, no, it's not that deep. Excuse me. Oh Lord. But it's not that deep. But the point is, like, it is that deep for me. You know what I mean? I want to be able to walk around and just quietly look at what is there.
Yeah. Well, you did some looking, and
yeah.
Let's talk about some of the things that you've seen. I don't know.
And like I said, just to quickly reiterate this, I am going to put all of the photos that I took this weekend in a highlight reel on the Substance Matt account. Unfortunately, unless anything changes, unfortunately, and I know a lot of you guys hate this, and we kind of hate it too, but the logistics just work out that way. We probably will not be posting the photos on the YouTube. I mean, unless Liam tells me I'm wrong, but
no. Well, just because they're story pictures.
I was going to say,
we're just going to describe
to that extent. You know, you can go look at what we're talking about and everything else. In the Substance Matt story, it'll be, you know, ready to go, ready for you to look at when this releases. But
I think half of some of these stories have actually disappeared by now.
No, I'll get on my archive.
Okay.
But yeah, this, you know, doing that and doing coverage, I guess, as it were, like Substance Matt coverage.
It's kind of interesting that as a podcast we could do coverage of an event, but honestly, that's kind of cool because Nobody's doing that.
Well, I didn't even really realize that's what I was doing until those DMs where people were like thanking me. Were kind of like, "Hey, thanks for doing coverage," and I was like, "Yeah, I guess I kind of am."
Like this kind of opens up another thing that I'd never really considered. Like a podcast we could have coverage from events and like legitimately on an episode.
Y'all are watching this start from the ground floor.
Yeah,
right now,
it's so interesting as this develops.
But yeah. So I think. It's cool to me. I don't know if it's cool to anybody else, but you know, if you had been going through my story and looking at all these cars, you're seeing everything that if you were doing laps with me, I would have stopped to look at.
Yeah. So these are cars that are of your like personal taste, the stuff that you're into.
Yes, these are the cars that really stopped me in my tracks. So. Oh, this is gonna be.
Is that pre-meet? Just.
Oh, you can. Okay.
Yeah, just see the show.
Oh, thank God. Well, no, there's one that was at the pre-meet that I want to talk about. Really.
All right, yeah, let's do it.
So I have never seen anything even remotely like this, but it was a Lexus IS 350 that was a full spec rally car.
Dude, that looks so. Is it all-wheel drive? Or is it rear?
It's probably. I mean, those are rear from the factory, so it's probably rear-wheel drive.
I think they made all-wheel drive models.
They did. Actually, yeah, you're right. It probably is. That is
crazy.
But I have no idea. I don't have enough technical knowledge to know. First of all, I wanted to see what motor was in there because it had a manual transmission. Those cars did not come with manual well,
yeah, they did.
Holy fuck, they did.
That generation IS.
I'm having to like run back literally everything I'm saying. The point is, it was a full spec caged, gutted, like ignition switch rally car.
That's pretty wild.
And it was an IS3. It was so crazy. And it looked fucking great. But yeah, so the pre-meet, I enjoyed a lot. There were some really cool cars there. So I guess the first one that I want to talk about that was at the show and our meet.
Oh, yeah.
Was this S15.
Oh, yeah.
If you were at the show, I'm sure you know exactly what I was talking about. It's a silver S15 with an RB26 with a yellow valve cover. This is one of those cars where it's literally like no expenses spared.
No, this thing is perfect.
It is like dream spec.
Dude, it's got the sickest canards on it I've ever seen. Like they flow, like canards kind of piss me off a lot of the time. These flow really fucking well. I'm not a motorsports guy, and so I kind of get like when things don't flow and they're just there. I get that like a lot of things are there for function. Yeah. Sometimes the function doesn't have the form, and it like drives me nuts. This has the function and the form. It's sick.
The guy, if I'm correct, I haven't been correct here in the last 5 minutes, but. If I'm correct, the guy who built this, his Instagram handle is @PingIsAsian, and I have not yet seen a car that he's built that is not.
And this was
like this level.
This was next to the Tuner Evo booth, so that totally makes sense because Tuner Evo events have been known for very, very high quality cars like this one. So definitely good representation for them with that. Damn, got another picture of the engine bay. That's
let me run y'all through just a little couple off rip things. So it has, I have no idea what size turbo, but it has the. Nah, never mind. I'm just gonna make myself look like an idiot. But it's an RB26D TT. But looking at it now, I think they just did a big single turbo conversion. It's just super clean, man. It's just super clean. It's shaved. Everything looks how you think it would look on a really expensive, really clean fucking S15. I'm pretty sure it was a Spec R, actually.
All right. Next car. This is Luke Turner's E36. We can kind of describe it now that we're looking at a picture of it.
It's an E36. It is, I guess you'd say this was a wide body.
It's not Street Hunter because I think that's like TJ Hunt's collaboration with the same company, but it's something LA Street something that makes this wide body kit. I'm pretty sure. I don't remember exactly. Somebody's gonna correct me on it, but it's a wide body kit on this E36. It's like big wide.
I certainly don't know, but it's just so good. So if you've ever seen like oh my God, I don't know fucking BMW. It's the really, really well-known like 70s CSL or CSI race car. And they
It's got a
did
red, blue, white, and yellow livery on it.
Yeah, so it's an art car. It's literally, at least that's what it was back then, and I would argue that this was an art car too. But the interior is set up like it's a fucking race car. At least it's set up like a race car.
So it's a drift car, but he hasn't actually used it for drifting yet. That's why it's still pretty.
But it's
crazy setup car.
It's an art car. It's just really.
Yeah,
really
shout
cool.
out to Luke Turner. I think his Instagram is Turner E36 or something. If you search Luke Turner or Turner E36, or even if you search Obsessed Worldwide, you'll be able to find his account somewhere.
So
I can't remember off the top of my head. Sick car.
That is one of the L's that I took this weekend.
Not getting like the Instagram handles?
No.
What?
Fucking not getting anything from Obsessed Worldwide. I literally saw like 3 or 4 different shirts that I was like, fuck, I want that.
Yeah, and I did. I got shirt.
And I didn't go back by and get anything.
At the 90s only meet, I made sure to grab one of the art shirts because they're fucking cool as hell.
I'm still holding that L right now.
Is that an RCF? RCF with the Advan livery?
Yeah.
That's fucking cool.
It is pretty cool. There are parts of it that I'm not like, I could like them more if they were something different, but it is a really cool car. So we're going to talk about this for a second.
Kexter's fucking C4.
This C4, and I do not fucking remember. Initially, I thought it was a C West kit, and as per usual, I was incorrect.
No, it's not.
I don't remember what kit it is. It's actually, apparently he was saying that it was like a very limited edition. It's not an OEM option, but it's like one of those adjacent performance companies.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was called.
No, I don't remember either,
but
honestly.
It's super like long.
Yeah.
It's really long, and it's just
this thing is cool. We definitely have to give some shout out to Michael Kexter for building this thing. He used to have that bagged SC400. It was brown with Infinite Works on it. Really, really like kind of crazy car with a really big body kit. So he's now gotten rid of that and has a C4 Corvette. And this thing is it's so 90s. It's ridiculous.
Exactly. Well, and I have a particular affinity for this. Well, you say 90s. I'd say this was an
80s. Yeah. That's a fair.
I have a particular affinity for this car because if you look at it and if you think about how I always talk about what my style is, this is like that.
Yeah.
This is that. It's got the turbo fans on it that are just about as big as the fucking wheels themselves.
Yeah, this is the most like 80s futuristic looking fucking thing ever.
And it's just awesome. It just looks awesome, and it's just like this is fucking retro wave personified in a car. Like it's really good. It's like cocaine white. I really enjoyed it a lot.
Let me look at this. Dude, it is something, man.
And it's just really clean. It's really well set up. The height honestly accentuates how long the car is and how low the body line is.
Yeah.
Even more, the wing is great.
I mean, like,
it's really good.
What's cool about it is it's one of those cars that like takes a chassis that I would never look at and be like, damn, that's actually really cool. C4s have never been cool to me.
Speak for yourself. I love C4s.
Oh, well, fair enough. I was going to say, for me, C4s have always been the most uncool looking thing. If I see someone in a C4 with sunglasses on thinking they look cool, I'm like, no, you look fucking stupid. But this changes my...
Liam just told me I look fucking stupid because if I could, I would be that guy in a C4 wearing sunglasses.
Yeah, probably with a mullet too, huh? But no,
yes,
this car changes that for me. Like this looks fantastic, and it like I don't know. I guess it just changes my mind. It opens my mind to the potential of like doing cool shit with.
And this is what I was talking to somebody about. That's all it takes.
Yeah,
all it takes is one single car that somebody does the right way, and all of a sudden you're like,
it's a cool car. Yeah, you see the potential.
You can do cool things.
Exactly.
With that car.
It definitely takes a certain type of person to see potential in shitty, like not shitty, but different platforms.
Well, so okay, that was honestly like that. This just kind of slid in there. That was honestly one of, if not the biggest thing that I kind of was always looking for with like Not Fast and the people that I would like associate that with is I do that a lot. I look at cars that even if they're just a little bit cool for me, I'm going to look at them for a really long time and be like, what could you do?
Yeah.
There's something that you could do there. Now, whether it was like commercially available remains to be seen, but that's where, custom shit comes in.
Right.
But it's like, that was always my thing. And I still do that because I have fun doing that. So it's like, when you run into people that think that way, those are my favorite kind of people to talk to. Like, there's a guy in our Discord that I met this weekend, and
oh shit, yeah.
He and my man, I did meet enough people where I can't quite remember your name, and I'm so sorry. But I almost wish I could have seen myself, because
I was watching. I was enjoying.
Well,
how excited you were.
He was there, and he came up, and then we were just kind of chatting. He's like, "Yeah, man, I really like the podcast." And then he's like, "Yeah, I'm the one with the Stratus." And I just about jumped out of my fucking chair to shake that man's hand. Like, I'm just so excited about it. He has a first generation Dodge Stratus. That is a car that 98% of people would be like, that belongs in the junkyard. Yeah. Like, people just could not give a single fuck about that. Well, when he first posted it up in the Discord, off rip, I was fucking excited because he had it on, I think there were like the 1552 track series. I think they're 6-spoke. It's a really like sporty looking wheel, and it immediately like unlocked the memory of photos that I've seen of those cars doing super touring. And he was like, "Yeah, that's kind of what I'm aiming for." And I'm like,
fucking cool.
This fucking guy,
he gets it.
Knows what, dude. So again, I genuinely feel really bad for not remembering your name right now, bro. But like, you are doing it right. And it's just, those are the people that excite me the most, that will just take it from like this really random angle. Because you can, dude, that's just the way that I am. You can have a bunch of cars that are like that S15 quality. And if you put one car that doesn't have all the expensive shit, but is like that, takes that angle, takes a car that people don't usually look at and does something cool with it.
Yep.
My focus is going to be on that car.
You're absolutely right. I do the same thing. I do the exact same thing.
And so, yeah, that was kind of an offshoot of the C4 thing, but I just love that. And, I hope it, shout out to Zach at Misguided Media.
Let's give Zach a shout out for how sick that booth was. We had Zach on the podcast to talk about his business, Misguided Media. If you were at Riverside and you went to the Misguided Media booth and didn't buy anything, shame on you, because that man put in some work to make that booth look sick. He had it set up like it was my damn living room.
It's a boutique shop. It literally is.
That's exactly what it is, and everything was so cool. Dude, he had his giant VHS fucking...
the fucking
camera that was like, I saw him walk, like, Zach dresses like he's from the 90s, and he was walking around with this massive brick of a fucking camera over his shoulder. That shit was hard. He said the battery died before he could even get many good clips, but I was like, damn.
Oh, fuck
this shit just looked cool to see, though.
I made it into the video before the battery died, yeah.
Damn. But yeah, his booth was so well set up, and if you haven't checked out Misguided Media yet, you really should. Like, he's just putting in effort and detail where most people aren't, and I really appreciate him for that.
Yeah, well, you guys already know how we feel.
Yeah.
Black Cloud was there.
This is the same car that I saw at Import Alliance.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, that's the exact same car.
So, yeah, I was honestly wanted to try and talk to him, but he was not there, which is fine. And I guess they just had a small boot space because they just had the Corolla.
Yeah, it was
why am I not connecting? Of course,
that same green Corolla that we'd shown from Import Alliance last week.
So, yeah, I mean, and I have no idea how I went this long without getting one. But real quick aside, and I haven't showed you the decal yet. I put it on the TSX yesterday, but it's called Mr. Fangs, and it's a character that Totem like started doing like forever ago. That just became like, at least for like, I don't want to say an unofficial mascot for Atlanta, but it's an unofficial mascot for Atlanta. Okay. It's like this little ghost character that he just started painting all around Atlanta.
Yeah.
And then he started making decals, and he started putting those everywhere. And so it's kind of like if you know kind of deal, but like they're everywhere in Atlanta. And so like Mr. Fangs, for people that know him and know about him, it's like him and Atlanta at the same time.
Yeah.
And they've been selling those decals for a really long time. And I've just never, like, it always slips past me to, like, order one, or I didn't have money at the time, and this and that. Oh, real quick. What? I need you and anybody listening to this to hold me accountable. I'm now completely convinced that I talk about being broke and how I don't have money so much, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Oh, my God.
So from now on, guys.
Well, that's
I'm just going to say I didn't have the resources at the time, but soon.
Well, that's where the perpetually broke thing comes from.
I know, but now we definitely shouldn't make that decal because it's going to curse everybody. I'm just kidding. But no, I am going to chill out with that because I feel like it's self-fulfilling. Right. Anyway, I finally got a Mr. Fangs decal. I'm really excited. I got it in my car. I wanted to get a t-shirt, and I honestly meant to go back and get one, and I forgot, but I can just probably order off their website. But yeah, if you guys haven't, definitely go look at Black Cloud Battalion because they have some really, really fucking cool merch. Totem designs all of it, and it is just really, really cool. But anyway, moving on, I suppose. So there was, there's not a lot to that, but it was a gold.
I know them too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's a 6'4", right? Or is it a 6'3"?
I couldn't tell you, but there's an Impala. It's an Impala wagon. Shout out to Stitch Boots. It's Brian and Caitlin from M-Works up in Cincinnati. They have a bunch of really cool cars, but this is one of them. It's an Impala wagon. I don't know if it's 6'4" or 6'3", but it's sick.
I think it's a 6'4", but it could be a 6'3" because I think they were the same front end. But anyway, yeah, this is very sick. It's on Dayton's.
This car.
So yes, this
is my friend Josh's Chaser that he just finished up. Was it black or was it green?
No, it's black.
It's black. Okay, I couldn't tell because I've only seen pictures of it. I very briefly saw it yesterday. But this car is extremely well done. They just did all the body work and painted it. And, I mean, every car that Josh has ever had, this is Theraflu for anybody that is curious on Instagram. He has had a 800 wheel horsepower STI that's fucking insane. An FD RX-7 that is Millennium Jade. And now he has this Chaser. Every car he's ever built has been he's one of those. Very, very nice.
But yeah, this Chaser, I mean, it's on, what are those called? Minervas?
Let me see. Yes.
They're it's like 5 split spokes.
Yeah, SSR Minervas. The kit, I literally couldn't tell you because so many kits end up blending together where they look similar. Yeah. And if you don't know the chassis, you don't know.
I want to say my friend told me it was a Vertex kit.
It could be.
Maybe I know.
We're probably sounding ignorant. And anybody who knows...
Because we are about
somebody who knows Chases, like, no, that is this kit. And I'm like, well...
our disclaimer is we don't have encyclopedic knowledge about kits.
The only thing I have encyclopedic knowledge about is fucking LS400s. That's it. So I get to be that person where I'm like, no, it's a Vleen kit, not an aim gain.
So really quick shout out to my friend Joey Hoke at Hokey Pokey on Instagram. He's a super cool guy. Me and Joey have known each other for a good while. He's a really, really good photographer. He shoots primarily in film, so go check him out. But
I saw a lot of people shooting film yesterday.
Really?
A lot. Which, you know what that says about a person? With how busy that venue was? If you are shooting film in a venue where there's thousands of people walking in your shot every second, you got some motherfucking patience. That's a real photographer there. If you're able to go into an event space like that and shoot film, good on you.
Yeah.
That's fucking sick. If you get some good pictures, like if you see any film pictures on social media after this weekend from Riverside, just know that they worked hard as fuck to get that shot, because you couldn't take a damn picture for shit in that.
Yeah.
Like, it was so busy. So shout out to all of the film photographers and every photographer in general.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to
No,
interrupt.
you're good, dude. So, really fun story about this. Joey, for anybody that was there, the orange IS300 with the TRD front bumper and the gold AVS 6s that were sitting out front. That is Joey's car. Joey had that car since, like, it was stock. And it was just, like, there was always something about it that he wanted to fix that just wasn't getting done for various reasons. It was never, like, mechanic. Like, he used to drift it and shit. But he always just had a really, really cool vision for it. Well, eventually he ended up having to sell it. I don't remember if it's just because he needed money or what the deal was, but he had to sell it, and he sold it to Alex Grant at Trad Fisk, who I would really like to have on the podcast. But anyway, so he sold it to him. I've mentioned Alex on the podcast before. He's a photographer, and he's incredible at that. And he builds cars, and he's incredible at that. So anyway, he bought it from Joey. And he basically changed some stuff up, but then also tied up all the loose ends that Joey was unable to tie up.
Yeah.
Ever since then, Joey was saving in the case that he could get it back.
Really?
Last week, he bought it back from him.
That's fucking awesome.
And he told me that, and I was so fucking excited for him. Because, I was just so, because I can only imagine, like, it would kind of be the same thing. I don't just think about that. You sell a car to somebody that you really, really care about.
Yeah.
And they buy it from you. Not only do they, like, take care of it and tie up all the loose ends that you couldn't, they added even more cool shit to it, and then you were able to buy it back.
That's awesome.
It was just awesome. So shout out to Joey. He's a super cool guy, and I was really excited to hear that story.
Majesta.
There's Scooter's Majesta that was out back. It's white silver two-tone, just like Liam and I both.
Gold Bazares on it. I think he swung by the booth because somebody came by and was talking about Majesta. I hadn't put two and two together that it was that car, that was Scooter. But yeah, shout out to Scooter because that car is fucking sick.
That car is just so nice.
E46 on. I saw this at the 90s Meet.
It's Meisters, right?
Yeah, E46 on Workmeisters. Really simple setup.
Pre-facelift too, which is sometimes is a hard sell for me.
It's got an M bumper on it. It's wrapped purple or painted purple maybe. Really just cool, clean looking car. It's a sedan. Big fan.
So shout out to Mason.
Shout
out to Mason Willett. He I can never fucking. There's like a whole. I tried.
There's so many levels of nerdy shit you can go into about this car.
But it is like it's a
BMW L7.
It's a BMW L7, and they only made a very small number of them. I don't remember the small number. They were not offered in a manual transmission.
Ultimately, Mason described it pretty well this weekend when we were asked. Like, we told him to describe it to one of our other friends, and he was just like, ultimately, it's like a really rare car that BMW made, but it's junk, so nobody has any nice ones left. But it's a really cool car.
But
and his is
he has a nice one.
Together,
it's just very, he put a lot of emphasis on being period correct, and it's just, he's got great taste just as a car builder anyway, so it's
and he just
cool.
just wrapped it two-tone. Like,
he did.
Last second, he was like, you know what? This would look good if it was two-tone. I approve because I love everything two-tone. So, yeah.
So yes, that was very cool. This guy.
Yes. This is my favorite car you
right
posted.
Here. So it is I have no idea what year. It's pretty round and bubbly, so I'm sure it's like late 90s. But
the only reason I don't know exactly what year it is, but it is late 90s because I had a Ford Escort.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my daily was a Ford Escort.
In England?
No, here.
Really?
Yeah, like last year.
Oh, I didn't expect that.
Yeah, I got a $500 Ford Escort from my homie Andrew Kitchens.
I do remember you
it was
telling me about
it was a
this.
5-speed. Okay, so what we're looking at right now is an Escort Wagon. It's like late 90s. I want to say like 97 to 99-ish. But yeah, it's a white Escort Wagon. What wheels are those?
I do not know. I don't know what brand they are, but they're just like really cool, very...
It's like a four-spoke.
Japan-esque four-spoke wheel.
And that I don't think that bumper is... It's got like a kit on it.
It's a lip,
It's got a lip, but I don't even know if the bumper is factory. That might be like an upgraded bumper or from like the higher model. I have no idea. I don't know enough about that car. But it's a fucking Escort wagon that's slammed on like 15s.
It's really cool, man.
15-inch four spokes. I think they're 15s. 15s or 16s with a four spoke with a fat lip. It's white. It's a wagon. It's another one of those cars
exactly.
Where you never see potential.
I'm sitting here looking at it's like you look at the line, like the whole the roof line of it being a wagon and the way it comes down.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking cool.
Nobody
ever would have looked at that car and been like, that thing's got some pretty cool lines. And be like, no, that thing is ugly as fuck.
Do you know what's even better is like, I really liked my Escort. It threw timing and like blew itself up basically. But I really enjoyed driving that thing because it was a manual. It was decently peppy for what it was. It was like a fucking 2-liter and it felt kind of fun as fuck to drive. You know, it was the only...
No. Don't run that. It can be... Okay.
No.
Hold on.
Okay, it was the only manual car I'd had for years, and so I beat the living shit out of it, and it was so fucking fun to drive. I just want to say something.
Some people are so scared to, like, say that a car is fun or they enjoy driving it.
Because it's shit.
Because it's, like, shit.
Yeah.
Dude, if a car is fun, it's fucking fun.
That's fair.
You can drive a fucking golf cart, and if it's fun to drive, it's fun to drive.
It's funny because the manual car that I owned before that was a fucking Mustang, like 500 horsepower Mustang. So
it's fun to do. But it's dude, like Miatas, man.
Yeah, no, it is. I loved my Escort. It was fucking awesome. So yeah, I had a when I saw this on your story this morning, I got like dummy excited and then kind of mad that I didn't actually get to see it in person. But I was like, that's really fucking cool. I want that. I miss my Escort.
So really quick, I'm gonna go to my actual my camera roll on my phone to show you what was parked next to that at the pre-meet. It was so fucking cool. And I'm trying to find him because Ben said he's local because he had a Hamilton County plate and I didn't notice it.
Is that a MR2?
It's like, I don't remember the chassis code, but it's like a first gen super boxy MR2.
Mm-hmm.
This was
those Reagan Masters.
I think they're Reagan Master style, but the spokes aren't fat enough. But I don't even care. They look good. I don't give a fuck if they're real or fake or what. But this, first of all, this badge did not come on those like from the factory, but I'm pretty sure it is like an OEM. I'm pretty sure it came on the JDM cars. I don't remember, but that's really cool. It's got like a little red crest eagle badge on the front. But one of my favorite parts of that car was he had contour pinstriping that's like the neon pink and the neon blue that everybody
for a second I thought that was chromatic aberration from your camera.
No.
But no, that's actually interesting. That's cool. I like that.
But this is probably my favorite part, and this is most likely just a personal preference, but like I've never seen one of these with a wing on it. And this is a fucking like big obnoxious wing and there's no rear bumper. To me, that's such a cool, like fucking really gritty, sporty look.
Yeah. And you know what's really funny is the wing looks like an exact mirror of the fucking roof. Like, look at that roof.
It literally
does.
I didn't even notice
the wing's the same height as the roof, and if the roof comes down one way, it goes flat, and then the wing just goes up the other way.
I didn't even notice that until you said that. But yeah, I saw that was parked next to the Escort wagon at the pre-meet, and I thought it was so cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
But so I actually thought of the last episode when I saw this because it's an ES.
Yep.
This is a cool
good little red S chassis there, a bricky fucking S13. That thing's super clean.
It is super clean. The only thing that I would change is to get a spacer in the back.
Yeah, is it a Laurel?
It's a little sunk. No, that's a JZX81. This one was a
Cresta?
No, this is a Mark II. So they had Mark IIs. Yeah, okay, this is a Mark II because that's the only one that had this front end. This is a Mark II. They had Crestas. Mm-hmm. So not Cressida, but Cresta.
Cresta.
But then I believe the Cressida, sounds hilarious pronouncing like that just for explanation purposes, but they were all in the same chassis. Mm. But the Mark IIs and the Crestas were JDM. Okay. They were only available in Japan. Tywin, my friend Tywin in Detroit at Certain Victory, has one of these. One of the coolest ones out there, even though he would disagree.
Wait, so what is this? This is a
Mark II. This is a JZX81 Mark II.
It sounded fantastic. I heard it drive by. It sounded wonderful.
They're 1J cars.
That's why it sounded wonderful.
Yeah, they're 1J cars. So, but his is really, really cool. It's been down for a while just because he's, been doing a lot of life stuff. But his was one of my favorites. He had a Hippo Sleek kit on it with Koenigs, like big boy Koenigs that he was running for a while. But I'm hoping that car will make a comeback here someday soon. But anyway, when I first saw his, because he actually picked me up from the airport in it the last time I was in Detroit when it was still pretty new to him. And I was like, dude, this thing is so fucking sick. And they're just really, really cool cars, and I would love to have one, frankly. But anyway, we'll move on from that. It's just a really, really cool looking Mark II.
Andrew Kitchens, GS.
Oh, wait, did he change wheels since Southern Fresh? Or those the same wheels?
No, those are the same wheels. He's always at those work LS 407s or 207s, whatever the fuck they are.
Well, Andrew, it's a neat boy.
Yeah, his GS is really cool.
Good job, buddy.
That Yankee Mate.
Yeah, the Yankee Mate Z. I had seen it. Around. It's a pretty neat little unit.
I've seen this car a bunch of times. I love this car. It's sick.
It's a pretty neat little unit.
Ooh,
So just really quick, and I have since gotten the owner's Instagram. But it was a TS wagon next to the Clean Culture booth, and it was just so fucking nice. And honestly, there were so many little bits that I was looking at on that car that I'm like, I need this. Yeah. Like the lip on this car, I legitimately had never seen it before, and now I need it. It's
a good looking car. You don't see enough of these.
It's after I saw that, I was like, I should have got a wagon. Honestly, the second gen TSX wagons are such good looking cars.
Yeah. Is that a Gloria Cedric Y32? There's a fat 5-spoke or something.
No, it's not even a fat 5. They were kind of athletic 5-spoke wheels.
Yeah, that's cool. It's cool. At the Forge Fitment booth. It's a white Y32. That's sick. Oh, yeah. This Alex Richards car, we've already described that, so we don't even need to cover that. It's just dope Y32 SEMA.
And then,
is that a Starlet?
It is a Starlet. I do not remember the chassis code, but it's like the
yellow.
late 80s. So this fucking Dub Edition 300 was so
Lambo
cool.
doors.
And then right next to it was this motherfucker.
Oh, yeah.
So gonna say this really quick for future reference for everybody. I will always be a fan of doing big-ass fucking trucks in a 90s mini truck style.
Yeah.
What we're looking at is it's like a 1500. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a Chevy Silverado. It's not like a dually or anything. I think it is. It's a crew cab 1500, full body drop. Those look like they're 26s.
It's one of the newer or like late
teens,
model.
Yeah.
Late model 1500, and it is just sitting on the ground, but the mini truck styling comes in
on the livery. It's got down the side.
It's got like
you don't even call that livery. That sounds
no. It's like tribal.
Yeah,
it's tribal. It's got tribal coming down the side as they always did with these mini trucks in the 90s. And I have a picture a little later that I can show you on here that's just like shows the details that I didn't even notice till the second lap.
Yeah,
very very cool. But yes, I will always be a fan of doing mini truck treatments. Doing mini truck treatments on big boy new trucks.
Yeah.
There was a white R31 Skyline wagon.
That's fucking cool.
Shout out to Carly Gavin. She has wanted one of those for years now, and I hope one day she can get one.
Yeah, that would be fucking sick.
Let's see what else we got.
Oh, Pete's all road.
Rapidly accelerating Peter's all road.
Rapidly accelerating Peter.
Let's see. Oh, there was a.
Is that in the spectator lot or is that in?
It's a spectator lot. It's a.
Damn, you really went around everywhere, huh?
Oh, I told you 4 laps is a lot of time to go do this. But it is a fully spoon spec'd out EK hatch that was in the spectator lot. Right hand drive and everything is very cool. There was a Leopard.
That's cool.
This is an Infinity, and of course now I can't remember the name. Is it a J30?
I couldn't tell you.
I don't remember, but it was like the first Infinity that came to the U.S. It was like a coupe, and it was really boxy, and it's a Nissan Leopard is what they're called.
Okay.
And they're like really, really popular like Shakatan cars, and people make such cool shit. But it's just a really, really boxy, low roofline like luxury coupe.
That's dope.
This thing.
Oh yeah, this is her name's Beck. It's an E30 with, I think it's the Click tuning kit. So it's like a BN or Vertex style kit on an E30, but it's a vert and it's painted highlighter green or yellow and it has pink wheels on it.
I fucking love it.
It's fucking cool as shit. The wheels need to go, and I've told her that a bunch of times. I think she has wheels coming for it.
No, on it, it's seriously that'll take it to the next level. Like,
yeah, the car is fucking cool.
I have no idea what like wheels she's gonna do or what color, but that with just like polished wheels fit really nicely.
Yeah, it's cool because really you just like that kit almost like doesn't make sense for that car, but it being a vert just then like cancels that out.
Well,
and it's like, you know what? Fuck it. Yeah, that shit's sick.
It looks like it's melting. So
no, it definitely looks like it's melting. But yeah, once it's got different wheels on it, I am so excited to see that car.
Okay, so really quick, R32 GTR HKS Evolution. That is, I'm not even going to hazard a guess, but that is a very fucking expensive car.
It's a pretty nice car.
That's probably, honestly, one of, if not my favorite front bumper I've ever seen for an R32.
Yeah.
It's just so
Did you find out what kit that was on there?
I think it's an HKS kit.
Okay.
Because it's an HKS
yeah, I suppose that would make sense.
Yeah.
But no, really, really well done car.
GT something,
or whatever.
I don't remember. But it's just, of course, had a really, really dressed up big single turbo RB. And it has like a top secret like cover plate. I don't know if that's just like a cosmetic cover plate or if that implies something else. I just don't know. But it's very cool. It's a very cool car.
Ooh, over to the Simply Clean Expo side of things. So this year for Riverside, a little bit different than they've done previous years. They extended out to Finley Stadium across the street, and they did the Simply Clean Expo, which is basically like, it was like a market for like vintage clothes, sneakers, like all kinds of like more like hype beast stuff. And they had like Barbara stuff in there. There was a DJ and Fortune Mines and Liberty VIP were all over that. So all of the like crazy VIP cars were over on that side. And I'm really bummed I didn't get to see them, but I did catch up with them after the show. But some of the cars that are in there we can address really quick because they're sick.
This
GS. I've seen this GS.
This
before.
Is like, picture a tank and
wait,
then
I
make
just
it
said
VIP.
GS. That's not a GS. That's an LS. It's an LS 460, isn't it? Yeah, my bad.
Picture a tank, like a fucking like a military tank, but then like make it a VIP car. That is this car.
Yeah, no, it has some presence to it for sure.
Like dude. It's a lot. It's very cool.
So it has luxury abstract wheels. This kit is the aim gain wide body kit. The front bumper I don't recognize. It looks like it could be like a Black Pearl kit. Super just aggressive big car, but it's black and the wheels are a dark color, so it's actually kind of understated. Like, unless you really looked at the car, you maybe won't notice how crazy aggressive it is. Fucking big fan of this car. One of the guys from Liberty VIP, big shout out to those guys. They've been around for a long time. This thing's crazy.
So where is this from? Is this from Florida?
No, I believe that this car might be up north somewhere.
I
but
literally feel like I've seen this car before.
I've seen it on Instagram.
That's probably where I saw it.
It's a pre-facelift LS430 that has had so much work put into it. It's insane. Like, the whole car is widened like a ton. Like, not just like flared or like a wide body kit. Like, no, the whole car is wide. Even the doors, even the fucking cladding on the doors.
That was the part that was getting me, the cladding on the door. How it has like the little divots or
so
whatever.
that the doors can still open.
Yeah.
It's fucking bulky,
That
dude.
was super cool.
This thing is thick. I don't remember the name. Oh, fuck, I don't remember his Instagram. Man, this car is so cool.
I sure can't wait till my friend Braden at B.1 on Instagram will fucking bring his out of the Batcave. Have you seen his car?
Yeah,
every facelift.
Every time I see him, I tell him, when are you gonna lower it?
Spoiler alert, it's very low already.
I love B-Dub. I love giving him shit more.
He man, again, at B.1 on Instagram, great dude, super cool pre-facelift LS. What is it? 430, right?
430, yeah.
I suck. But yes, super cool car. Go get in his DMs and say nothing besides Matt told me to tell you to bring your fucking car to Riverside. Anyhow, moving on. Just more really
LS460s.
The Fortune Minds guys and Liberty. I mean, both of them is just they are those clubs for a fucking reason.
Yeah,
like,
just crazy, ridiculous cars that could have been built 10 years ago, could have been built yesterday. You wouldn't tell, and you never see them. They don't come, like, these guys don't come out for just anything.
Yeah.
Like, there is a reason that they come to Riverside every year, and you don't really see these cars any other time. It's a good fucking show. Like, if that tells you anything, it's a good fucking show, and these guys will basically only come out for Riverside. And so I love that.
I go out on these cars all the time.
It was SC430.
SC430.
Super underrated car.
Unbelievably underrated. And the thing about it is very few people outside of Japan get these cars right. And that's probably why they're so underrated, because so many people here have never seen them done really well.
It's a weird looking car, and they're kind of expensive still. And so I get most people aren't really that interested in them, but it's one of those things. You see the potential in it. You see a couple of these done right, it'll change your life. They're fucking
dude. Well, let me go ahead and send you the pictures of these things in Japan, because they're fucking got a bunch of these things. Are killing all of them. This guy.
It's a Corolla?
So, no, that's a Camry.
I always mix Camrys and Corollas.
This is probably, like, no offense to this dude, because this car is cool as fuck. But this is like, I think a late 90s, early 2000s Camry. It's champagne. Like, this car stock is like boring old people spec.
Yeah.
Like, it is, generally speaking, it's a pretty boring car. He said fuck off with that. Like, so you're going to know better than me. Is that an LS? Like, that bumper mesh, is that from an LS? What is that?
So it looks to me like it's probably an aftermarket kit that came from some kind of big body car that's then been sectioned and merged into it.
Right. So
I couldn't tell you exactly. It could be K-brake, it could be any.
It's really
brand.
Cool because the way that he did it, the bumper mesh is like,
it's really boxy, like it would be on an older VIP car.
But it's funny because, like, the actual shape of the front of the Camry is not like that.
Right.
And if he didn't execute this as well as he did, it would look kind of weird because the shape changes like that.
Yeah.
But the way that he molded it, it just makes sense.
Yeah.
It literally, it has the same flow as it would on any big body car. So it's like, if you don't like that flow on the Camry, you wouldn't like it on the big body car either, because he did such a good job.
No, and this is a prime example of a VIP style car, because this is not a traditional VIP platform, but it has had every little crazy thing done to make it match up to the cars that it's parked next to. Like, it's parked next to big body VIP cars that are flared and super low to the ground with big body kits. Like you said, this is a boring grandpa commuter car that has been turned into the same kind of status as these big VIP cars, and it's fucking sick. And again, it's
just so
got luxury abstract wheels on it. Huge shout out to them. I actually met the owner yesterday. I had a good chat with him about kind of the history of VIP stuff. He was talking to me about his project back in the day. He had an F50 with the president grill with a Bentley front end swap. Like it had the dual like headlights. He was showing me some pictures. Fucking ridiculous. One of the most insane things I've ever seen. He built it in like 2007. But yeah, shout out
that's
to
OG shit right there.
Shout out to Luxury Abstract. Cool fucking wheels. They make some of the craziest designs, the most intricate. Like, it's funny. Like they're called Luxury Abstract, and like you look at the wheels and like, oh yeah, it's like they did diamond stitching on like most.
Yeah,
of these
I
wheels.
have seen those.
There's
actually,
so many intricate details on the wheels that they make. It's ridiculous. So for people who are into VIP cars, you want to take it a step further. You want to take it a little bit further and be like, yeah, I'm really about this shit. Luxury Abstract's the company you're probably going to go to. Talking of that, I may get some LA fucking Scaras at some point.
Oh, I remember those. I have seen those.
There's
They're really
few
cool.
sets left, and I want them.
They're really cool. But yeah, so I was just so hype on this Camry, dude. It was so cool, and I didn't take a photo in my story, but the interior was just as good.
Oh yeah,
the interior was really, really good.
Oh my god!
I've seen this before. It's the Odyssey that is. It has the Odivia front end swap for 240s. This is the Odyssey that front end comes from.
Yep.
So it's just like hilariously aggressive for a minivan. It is just so cool. And the body lines on these are really cool too, which is why so many people will modify them.
This car is sick, and I actually did get to see this and stand next to it. It's very crazy to stand next to a minivan and the roofline is level with your shoulders.
Yeah.
Like, that's not supposed to happen with a minivan, and this thing
well,
is
because the thing
cool.
is, too, they're pretty small. Like, just as for being a minivan, like, they're really thin. Yeah. They're really, like, small and thin cars. But it's super aggressive. It's a minivan. I always enjoy people, like, doing minivans in a really well set up way. Because, like, in Japan, at least nowadays, fuck, dude, minivans are, like, probably 25 minivans and like the mini K.
Oh, you're talking about like little K vans and that stuff.
And then on the other end of it, like the big, huge, fucking massive, like
those
Toyota
stuff.
vans and shit. Like that's probably like 25% of what you see over there.
It's a big part of VIP culture now.
Yeah.
Actually.
So anyway, I saw that. This was cool. It's if I could have any, like, there's two, any JDM like off road rig. I would want one of these. What we're looking at is a Toyota Prado, a Toyota Land Cruiser Prado. It's basically like a Toyota Land Cruiser that's a coupe.
It's a two-door, yeah.
And like it's got a really wheelbase. Small wheelbase. Yeah, so either this or Rally Art. It's not a Pajero. Whatever. There's another one that's like the same setup. It's a short wheelbase, but it's like Rally Art and it's sport. I don't fucking remember what it's called, but it's a Mitsubishi. Anyway. Just thought this thing was really cool. But the craziest part to me was I walked up expecting it to be right-hand drive because these are JDM.
It wasn't?
It was left-hand drive.
What the fuck?
Somebody, I don't remember who I was walking with, was probably like, oh, it's probably like a Euro spec or something.
Yeah, that might be a good point.
I assumed that's what the deal was, but that kind of took me off guard. That was really cool. That thing was funny.
Yeah, I think we can kind of wrap
up.
I feel like the whole time we've been describing cars, people are like, I don't know what this looks like. just go to Substance Matt on Instagram. And you can take a look.
I have it all in my story. It's all there. Just one more really quick. This was at the after meet.
The black NSX with yellow wheels and yellow seats.
Yes,
fire.
It was so good. I think, and it's a friend of Dustin's, I believe, is what he said. But anyway. Yeah, I know some of y'all, and I get it. I know some of y'all, because it is a podcast, it's a little bit, it's not ideal when we do these things where we like describe the cars.
Well, especially if we don't know a shit ton about the car, we just think it looks really cool, and we don't know the name of the parts or the name of the owner or the Instagram of the owner or anything. We're just like being so vague. We're like, so it's a yellow car with wheels on it, and it was cool.
So know that we know that. Please know that we know that we're not clueless. I think just the way that this Riverside kind of shook out, you know, obviously because Liam was behind the booth all day. He had a very limited experience, and then I, on the other hand, was just walking around taking photos of cars the whole fucking time. So we tried to like kind of meld that in this episode. Again, we get it, we know, we're aware. But you know, look through my story.
Go
you
check
can
it out,
you can still, if you're at work, you can still like listen to the podcast, remember what we say, and then like go look at the story. All the information is there, but again, I'm not going to apologize for it, but I do just want to make you guys aware that like we get it. It's kind of a weird format. We're trying to figure out like a better way to do it, but for now, I think we're doing this much earlier in the day, granted on Sunday, but we didn't have a choice. But we're doing this much earlier in the day, recording this because we both kind of wanted to do it while it was like fresh.
Oh yeah,
and while we still have that hype from yesterday.
Again, like this weekend made me so happy. It really did. Like just getting to enjoy my car again. You know, the amount of support for the brand and for everything that I have going on, the amount of people that came up and just gave us compliments on the podcast. You know, I had people that I really wouldn't expect to come up and say, hey, I listen to the podcast. I absolutely love what you're doing. Like, you know, older people that have been around the scene for such a long time. They've been intimately involved in VIP culture for like 15 plus years. Are coming up to me and being like, dude, I fuck with what you're doing. Like, you get it. And I'm like, dude, I never want to act like I'm the new kid on the block when it comes to like VIP stuff. Like, but to have somebody come up that's been around for a long time, be like, yo, I like what you're doing. You're representing the stuff that we're into really well. Like, that means a lot to me. That does, because I only ever want to like improve the community, make it better, make more people aware of, different subcultures and how to do things right. And I'm glad that, even people that have just been around for a long time are recognizing that we're doing something cool here. Yeah. It's fucking awesome.
I mean, it's like we said, man, it's all about vision, but in this case, it's all about intention. I think I'm going to like slow myself because this is going to sound kind of self-important for us. But like the point is, you guys well know, we go into this with the purpose of contributing.
Yeah.
We're not, sometimes we're just kind of here having our, our conversation, our dialogue, but conversation, dialogue, the reason that we're doing this is because we enjoy it, but also to open up the conversations. Mm-hmm. We say it now, we're going to say it until the day that we stop doing this podcast. This is just something that he and I, whenever we're talking about stuff, will always run into like these cool ideas that we hadn't really thought of before.
Right.
So now we just do it with microphones and hope that when we run into it, you're kind of like, oh shit. And then you can kind of think about it, talk to it, whatever. But
yeah, it's very natural. We don't force any of this, before we sit down.
Which is why we get episodes where we're just describing cars to you.
Yeah, we before an episode, we're not sitting it down and being like, all right, we need to hit these points at this time. We need to spend this much time on this. We tried that in the start, like on certain topics, and people were like, yo, just let it flow. And that's what we do. We come in here, we sit down, and we literally just talk about it. And so for anybody that may get in the comments on certain things and correct us on stuff, we do really appreciate that. But of course, we are just two dudes having a conversation, and we do this all the time. And we're very thankful for all of you guys for supporting us. And do you want to do sleepers? Because
honestly, yes.
I have a really good one.
Because we haven't done it in a while. We need to run it back around.
Yeah. And I apologize. We're not going to do it like all the time, but sometimes it's nice to just do a little shout out to someone. And since we're kind of summarizing and getting on to, our points about how we love the podcast and we love that you guys support it and blah, 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 I actually want to share something that is super exciting related to podcast stuff. My sleeper for this week is Alex.Burley. He is somebody that I only really know from the internet. I'm sure a lot of you guys probably know if you're on TikTok or various social media, but he is the guy that runs Dead On. It's a really cool brand. He's based out in California, but him and his two friends are actually starting a podcast. And I think that their first episode may already be out. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, I think it is. Okay, so they're starting this show called Late Night Motor Club, and I'm super pumped about it. Like initially when I saw it, I was like, "Oh shit, another podcast!" And I watched their little teaser clip. It's clearly three dudes that are super personable. They're good, charismatic. They're fun to listen to. It looks like it's presented really well. They've got like dope lighting setups and everything, and each of them have like a really good following, and they all have cool cars. And so I'm fully expecting that their podcast is going to absolutely blow up. And I know that some people might be of the perspective like, well, isn't that going to affect you guys, blah, blah, blah. Not at all. The more people we have in the podcast space just doing automotive podcasts, the more likely it is for all of us to grow. Like right now, we're at the forefront of it. There's really not many automotive podcasts, especially not for like this niche of car culture. There may be some that are, I don't know, I think Matt Farah has one. Adam LZ started a podcast, which I don't think is on streaming platforms. I think it's exclusive to his website. But the more people that are getting into this, the more demand there will be for subcultures and niches like what we do. And I just really hope that at some point we get to a stage where like Apple Podcasts and Spotify has a section for automotive. Like we've seen this over the years with YouTube, where YouTube now has a huge section for automotive stuff. I want to see that with podcasts, and we'll be right there. If you guys keep giving us 5 stars, if it does ever get to a point where there is that section, we will be in there in that like top rated show. And that's where I want to be. I want this to get out to more people, and just, I don't know, the more people that realize that like podcasts are cool, they're interesting to listen to, it passes the time on long drives, whatever. It's just fucking cool. And I'm excited that Alex and his friends are starting this show. And I'll have to go listen to the episode because I haven't yet. But I think you guys should go check it out. I don't know what their plan is. I have no idea what they're doing with it yet. But I'm just really excited because it's 3 dudes, like I said, that seem really cool. They've got cool cars. They've got great audiences already. Them coming together and just having fun conversations like we do only brings more people into this space. And I think that our shows will probably be pretty different, but that's good because it means that you guys can transfer over there and go and listen to their stuff, and some of their audience can transfer over here and listen to our stuff, and that ultimately is awesome. And at some point, I guarantee we'll do some kind of a podcast collab. We just have to. But that's my sleeper, alex.burley, or Dead On Alex on other social media platforms. If you search Dead On or Alex Burley or even the Late Night Motor Club, you'll be able to find it somewhere. Yeah, I'm excited about it.
Cool. So I actually have 2. I'll just run them by really quick. Excuse me, just burped. Okay, so I realized that I knew this because I remember his face telling me that's what his name was, but I didn't want to say the name, and then I was wrong.
The guy from the Discord?
Yes. So Spencer, sorry about that, man. But Spencer is the one that has that Dodge Stratus. So he's at mopar.hotboy with an I on Instagram.
I like that.
Just go take a look at it, especially if you're into like motorsport stuff, motorsport inspired stuff like I am. I love ham. Just go take a look at it. It's super cool. Super nice guy. Really, really glad to meet you yesterday, man. And then the other one is my buddy Joey, who I told you that little heartwarming story about his IS300. He is at Hokey Pokey on Instagram. And like I said, he is a really talented film photographer also. So that's where a lot of, well, I guess like all of his photos on his Instagram basically are filmed. So go check him out. He's a good friend of mine. I think you'll really, really enjoy what he's putting out. And, you know, we can never say it enough, man. We really appreciate you guys. And I I really do. Like that's the one thing I'm kind of kicking myself about yesterday, that I was not in the booth more, because you know, I don't care if it was 30 of you or 5 of you. You know, the idea that people listen to this, and if I'm in the vicinity that you'd want to talk to me, I mean, that's really cool to me. And shout out to this one guy. I don't know who you are. I don't know what your name is, but you clearly listen to this because he was wearing one of the windbreakers, and he like walked by me, and I was with Tyler, I think, and he walked by me. He's like, "Hey, what's up, Matt?" I'm like, "Hey, what's up, dude?" And I like turned my head back around. I'm like, I don't know who that was. I do not know who that person was. So at least I'm led to assume that you know me from the podcast. So if you know who you are, it was good to meet you for 2 seconds, bro. I appreciate you you reaching out. If if we're in the same vicinity, or you can even get in my DMs, whatever. But the point is, like I said, I haven't felt like this since I was doing Not Fast, because obviously that was something that I was doing and it was connected to me. And it's just really cool, man. I really appreciate you guys' support. I appreciate the several people who just walked up to me, looked me in the eye, and was like, "I just really need to shake your hand, man."
Oh yeah,
it's just a really, really cool feeling. I'm really glad that you guys enjoy the podcast and will listen to my fucking rambling ass for 2 hours every week. I really appreciate y'all.
Absolutely, guys. And once again, please go check out our sponsor, Wheel Price. All the links are in the description. And we'll be back next week for another episode. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please go give us a rating of 5 stars on that app. On Apple Podcasts, you can actually leave a review. So if you would like to type out a little message and say how much you love the show, we would hugely appreciate that. And like I said,
we read all of those. For
we
the
do,
record.
yeah. Like I said, if the podcast space does grow for the automotive world, we'd really like to be,
in the number one spot.
We not number one, but I just like to be there, like hanging out. Like if you go to that section, we're there.
We're the number one spot, my guy.
No, there's not a chance. That we'll never be the biggest fucking automotive podcast, because there's legitimate celebrities like Adam LZ and Matt Farah that have. Well, we
need that number 4 spot, bro.
We are the niche audience podcast. We are for the people. We are the people for the people. Yeah, man.
Liam's running for president.
We are the
people for the people.
You know what's funny? I actually can run for president because I was born in the U.S. My sister gives me so much.
Now you all know.
My sister gives me so much shit about that.
Really?
Yeah, because she's like, it sucks that you can run.
Damn, hold on. We're still on the show right now, and my body just did the yawn that I always do after we stop the recording. Did you notice that?
Yeah. I want to so bad. Everything hurts. But my little sister is like mad that I can run for president and she can't because I don't care to run for president. And she totally like would. She'd be a good president too, but sorry, Izzy, you suck. Huh. Anyways, that's the end of the episode, guys. We'll see you next week. Maybe we'll have a guest on. I'm going to do some searching around this week and see if we can get someone on. I actually would like to have Lucas, who is another person who's involved with Riverside, but he's also
Liberty.
Yeah, big involved with Liberty VIP, and so I'd like to get him on to talk about some more VIP-related stuff, and I'm sure some of you guys would love to listen to that, so we shall see. He will be on at some point, but if I can get that to work out this week, that'd be sick. But yeah, guys, thanks for listening or watching, and we'll see you next week.
We appreciate y'all.
Peace.
Bye.